Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Virgo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. Remember, they are general readings, so not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that's just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, if I don't throw them all over the place, you have the Devil card, right? And so what I want to say to you this week is you may decide to I can say that. You may decide to fixate on something this week, and I got to be honest with you, it kind of feels like it's something that you're not really able to let go of. It is the Devil card, right, which can be obsessions and addictions and all of those things, but I actually feel like this is you. It's like you're zoning in on something and you refuse to let how you feel about that thing go. So I want to say to you this week, I don't know what it is, and I would never speak on somebody else's behalf. If you need to go into that depth of processing, then please, by all means do. Just try to find a way this week. It's like once you've done that processing, let it go. And the reason I say this is because the Devil card really can have us, it's like we put ourselves on a mouse wheel that's got electric currents running through it. So it's like every time you touch it, you're shocking yourself, but you can't stop running, right? And it could be like those dogmatic thought patterns this week. Do something to get yourself out of that space, or even out of the space that you're used to being in, right? This is get out of your comfort zone to break out of whatever mental prison you might impose on yourself this week. All right, so just keep an eye on yourself and look after and love yourself, baby. All right, so really just this week, try not to fixate on something. Now, that being said, you've probably seen the trailers for the 2022 videos. They are up and available for purchase. I've been doing these for 5 years now. This is the 5th year, I believe. And I absolutely love doing them. This year I've put even more hard work into them. There's not a single one that is under 90 minutes. I think the least amount of time that one of them is like an hour and 45 minutes. So they're well over an hour and a half each. And I've put a lot of time, effort, blood, sweat and tears into them, and have really enjoyed the process. So I apologize for those of you that are disappointed that I'm charging for them this year. I think the pricing, I've tried to keep it really affordable so everybody has access to them. So you can get one for $4.99. You can get 3 if you want to see your sun, moon and ascendant for $12.97. Or if you want to go the whole hog, you can get all 12 for $24.99. So as you can see, really cheap actually, and actually really accessible. I just want to say I love doing these, and I wanted to bring something even bigger and better. And I just wanted to make it fair for myself and for everybody else as well. So I truly hope that they serve you well. If you purchase one, I just want to say a massive thank you so much for supporting my work in that way. It really does mean a lot to me. And for those of you that are just a part of Radiant Reality and don't purchase, I love you all the same, and I'm so grateful. I really hope that 2022 is an amazing year for all of you. And let's get into the rest of your week ahead. For your actions and options this week, you have the Daughter of Pentacles, which is actually the Page of Pentacles. This is, in a lot of ways, that energy of apprenticeship, right? Of picking something new up. Now, if that's what you're getting obsessed about, go for it, right? That's how you guys tend to learn anyway. It's like the Virgo learning style. Get obsessed with it, get into it, see how it really ticks. Now, you've got the Page of Pentacles here with the Devil card. Whatever is happening for you this week, you will be revisiting around the time of Capricorn. So later this year, right? As we come from the 21st of December onwards, whatever is taking place for you this week, you are likely to be revisiting or culminating around that time. For that reason, pay attention or pay mind to what you're starting or initiating this week, because it's going to be around for a long time, or you're likely to be revisiting it. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Devil card. So it looks like something that somebody has either said to you or something that somebody's going to say to you this week, and it's like you take that, you know, maybe it's just one line in a whole blurb of you know, hyperbole that somebody puts out, but it's like you take this one snippet and it, you know, touch wood, I hope I'm wrong on this, but for Virgos, like, you're really kind to everybody else, but sometimes you're not very kind to yourselves, especially in here with the self-talk. Now, that can be said of anyone, but with the energy that you guys have to fixate on the details, you can really pick things, people and yourselves apart. And I kind of feel like this might be something that somebody says about you, and it's like maybe a throwaway comment in a larger sort of conversation, but all you hear is that one line, and it's like you just get sucked in by it, like, oh my gosh, this is how everyone views me all the time, ever. Don't go into that space. It's really not worth it. The other thing that comes up this week as well, you got a double hit of the Devil card. It wouldn't surprise me if there are some very harsh words spoken this week. I just want you to be aware that that energy is around, so that if and when it comes up, you are prepared for it. Because this week, I've got to be honest with you, with this much Devil card energy, it looks like this could be a stonker of an argument. All right, so for those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is not a week to get into it with a boss or a co-worker. That's as much as I will say on that front. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, it's almost like for everything that you do right, there's going to be one thing that sticks out that you do wrong this week. And it's like, rather than anybody else bashing you, it's like you go into that space and you do it to yourself. Try to find a way to steer clear of that. All right. Now, and then finally, for those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, I would say that this week, it's almost like maybe you're just completely adverse to everything, right? It's like, no, I'm going to sit on the sofa and feed myself bonbons until I pass out from a sugar rush. If that's what you need this week, knock yourself out. Although the challenge is you may very well do that. If you have any vices, drinking, smoking, etc., this week they really could get the better of you. So just look after yourself on that front. I feel like this is more on the communication sort of front. So this could be a week where some salacious piece of gossip comes out and you're kind of like, you know what? And it's almost like you get fixated on it. So just be careful. For your love and relations, you've got the 9 of Swords. So for those of you that are single, I gotta say, this is not a week really, and maybe this is a part of the self-talk. Well, I'm single now and I'm gonna be single forever. Who wants to date me? All of that sort of stuff. Just don't do it. It's really, it's rubbish. You don't need to go into that space this week. Another thing that comes up as well, for those of you that are partnered or married or in long-term commitments, this could be a moment where you're not seeing eye to eye on something that actually almost has like no bearing on the relationship. It's like whether you do or don't, you know, like the colour of, I don't know, the bookshelves. I'm just looking at my bookshelves, so that's the first thing that came to mind. You know, it could be something really trivial that you and a partner fall out over, and because of this energy and the way that it's exacerbated, it could really just be blown out of all proportion. Be careful this week. That being said, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. For your money and materials, you have the Queen of Wands, right? So you've got this right underneath the Devil card. I will say this, when it comes to finances, this is a week to ask yourself where is it that maybe, and you know, this sounds really extreme, but I think you'll get what I mean. Where is it that you're selling your soul for something and you're kind of done with it? All right. This could be one of those moments where you're like, actually, no, you know what? My involvement in whatever, or do you know what I mean? I'm done with this. I'm done with this way of making my money. I'm done with this way of presenting myself, or do you know what I mean? Like, there's a few ways it could show up. If you're an employee, like I said, be careful this week, because the challenges that come up when it comes to finances, money, or resources are likely to come from the external world as opposed to the internal world. But the internal struggle that you're having is, it's like, I don't want to make my money this way anymore. A Leo woman or person may feature for you in some way, shape or form. Now, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your back, your spine and your heart. I don't see any issues here. If I'm completely honest with you, I feel like this is more in here than it is anything physical, you know, but obviously our body bears the brunt of whatever our mind tells us. So, you know, be careful in that regard. And then finally, when it comes to the home, this week, it's kind of like you just want enjoyment and pleasure at all costs. And I kind of feel like anyone that ruins that vibe this week is going to be like, silence, peasant. You know, you might find that you're just in that space of, you know what, don't fuck with my vibe, right? Just let me enjoy. And maybe this is it. Maybe this week you're in a bit of a funk and you just need to have that moment, but just try not to fixate this week. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have an interesting week where you push past what is in front of you. All right. Take care. I'll see you soon.